Well, hello, I'm Dr. Joya Royston. Welcome. Another Sunday, another opportunity for me to deliver a message, deliver a word, something to inspire, something to empower, motivate. And as you can tell, I'm not home, so I normally do not have a background image, but I have one today. I couldn't get us situated where I was out of town, so that's the best way. That's the only reason why I have the background image up. I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, where I'm always seeking to help you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. So today we're going to talk about something that's really kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people. And I understand why. I really do. I get it, and I understand it, but he won't let me get away with it. So, and away from it, and away with it or away from it. So, Matthew 6:15 says, "But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." And 6:14 says, "But if you forgive men their trespasses, your Father will forgive you." So, therefore, this forgiveness thing is big on God's agenda. Love is even bigger, but forgiveness. Matthew 6 is where the Lord's Prayer is located, where the disciples said, Lord, teach us to pray. Help us to be effective. Help us to get some things done. Help us to get some answers. Help us to be able to situate ourselves, situate our lives so that we can actually live the abundant life that you came for. Reconcile us back to the Father, help us to learn about this because it was a totally new experience for them to even pray on their own or teach us. So they asked God, they asked Jesus specifically, and he started out, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. The Lord's Prayer, we all know it. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of anything that separates from you. And sin is what separates from him from you. And then, of course, he said in Romans, and somehow that left, but all have sinned. All have sinned. No, all. All still means all. It's a very small 3-letter word, but when he says all. So therefore, and I understand that. That's my disclaimer is I totally understand. Some things are worse than others. Some things, humanly, they may be unforgivable, but God says forgive them. Now, the main thing about forgiveness is not for them, the person who did it, especially if it was premeditated. Forgiveness is for you. It should, one, keep bitterness from you. Because once you have some source of unforgiveness, then it leads to bitterness, and then it leads to hardening of the heart. Then it leads to hatred. Then it leads to, and you cannot be fully and freely used of the kingdom and in the kingdom. And it's one of those things that when you have offenses and people do things to hurt your feelings and get on your nerves, you have to get over and move through that process, sometimes quickly. And sometimes it's one of those processes that you have to do on a daily basis, on a constant basis, because the feelings are real. And what they did was real. So we're not negating that. That's where usually people are like, I never forgive them because you don't know what they did. I sure don't. And I wouldn't want that on me. But what it's doing to you, they've moved on. They did what they did, hurt your feelings, stole your money, stole your man, stole your woman, whatever they did. They've moved on. And they may be repeating the activity, but they've moved on with their life. And you're still stuck right there. So even though they did it to you, it's worse to you and for you than ever before, because you cannot seem to get past that. You cannot seem to get over it, as some people say. Now, I don't necessarily mean you get over it like you forgot, like ta-da, blink, and I'm no. You still remember it. It actually occurred, but it doesn't have the same sting as it doesn't have the same effect. And when you see them, you're not fully enraged. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you trust them and oh gosh, we're going to go to lunch and we're going to go to dinner and we're going to go on a girls trip together, oh my gosh, and we're going to include them in the cruise. No, because you're wiser. You should, as the Marvin Sapp song says, you should be wiser, you should be better, you should understand more. Your red flag alert should go up, your discernment should be on high alert. But as far as forgiving them and leaving them in God's hands, and because he said, vengeance is mine. So if there was something that revenge needs to happen, let God do it. Let him handle it. Because life has a way of lifing, as the kids say. And life has a way of bringing that right. You reap what you sow. It may seem like it takes a long time before the reaping comes. The sowing is immediate, but the reaping sometimes takes a long time. But God has the plan. He has the recompense of reward. Or the payment or the whatever he's going to do and what needs to happen. Because remember, all souls are still his. The good ones, the bad ones, and all of them. And he has a plan. All the billions of people he is that powerful and that awesome God. So you don't want, and I've had a season and continue to fight any seasons of holding or harboring any unforgiveness, because it's a journey, it's a working, it's something, it's a constant. And sometimes, you forgive them and you just move on, and you have to applaud them. You have to be, pray for them. You have to keep going. I can't get stuck there, because one of the things that is about having unforgiveness and really harboring it, and every time you think about them, every time you see them, every time you see them on social media, every time it makes you angry, is that it's a barrier. It puts up a wall between you and God and your creativity and the things that you need and things you're asking for. It's the trick of the enemy to put up a wall, hold up. You get in trouble with God because you're holding on to unforgiveness. You're forming bitterness, and so it's like the scripture says. How can sweet water and bitter water come out of the same place? How can you be blessings and cursings out of this? It's not only brain confusion, but it's God confusion. And God is not the author of confusion, so you know who the author of confusion is for that. So therefore, you don't want anything to hold up your blessings. You don't want anything to hold up your anything that is not like him. You don't want anything to hold up the plan of God or delay anything that he has for you. I don't want to be working hard diligently to build something, and because of one incident, it all be, torn down, or the contract be torn up, or to be said no of something that you've been working toward a lot. And most of the time, the people that have wronged you in any way, or done anything against you, sometimes it has nothing to do with that specific incident, but because of how great God has and how great of blessing it is, the enemy throws anything in your path. And I've learned in my 62 years of being alive that is usually, an indicator. That is kind of a tip and a signal to let you know that something great is on the horizon. And if he can get you in unforgiveness and get you in any kind of bitterness or anger or just anything, wrath, and I'm gonna get them back, because it gets you off. It gets you, to me, it gets you off your game. And I see it, and it comes, and I'm like, that's getting me off my game. I cannot be focused on them when they're not helping me do what I'm doing, and this is delaying what I'm trying to get done and all the hard work I put in. And to have one incident throw me that far off, oh man, it just really, it makes me angry at the enemy, the spirit that's working in them. So, as they say, I publicly go and say, I'm sorry if I've forgiven it, if I've did anything to mishandle anybody, and please forgive me, and I forgive everybody because I don't want anything. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Then lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. I don't want nothing to stand in the way. I don't want nothing hold up ideas. And I say, God, give me ideas that will advance not only my life, my business, but the kingdom and my clients and all that. So I don't want anything to hold that up. I don't want anything to be a barrier. I want the favor of God to rest on my life. I want the abundance, His grace and His mercy and His strength and His courage and His wisdom, and then His opportunities to come. I want to be prepared for them. I don't want to be held up, roaming around and like the children of Israel, 40 years in the wilderness, fighting something that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do, but it's a barrier. And that, the reason why they were held up so long was just complaining, not being grateful for being out of Egypt, not being grateful for being out of slavery. They didn't have the foods that they wanted to eat. They forgot all about the beatings and the humiliation and the killings and all that. Now, they just start complaining. We can't eat what we want to eat. This manna, what is it? Why we got to eat that? And complaining said, no, all that complaining and all that, I'll wait until the older ones die out who did all that complaining. Then I'll take the young ones, the ones who have a fresh perspective, who saw all that death in the wilderness, who saw all the seniors, the adults, their parents all die. And now they need me. They just got to rely on me. They don't have any past history. They don't have all of that. Oh, and what we didn't have and what we don't have and what we do have. Because a part of that forgiveness and a part of anything that happened to you is a lot of it is feelings and emotions. And so you have to fight the feelings to go in back and get that unforgiveness and the reminders and the triggers, as the mental health therapists tell us, the things that trigger us, the things that remind us and bring it back and all that. You have to fight that constantly. Because just because you say, I forgive, and just because you mean it when you say it, but there's still going to be things that'll come up and strive to trigger you. And those triggers are a real place. Those triggers are a real thing. They are. That trigger you to get you off target, that trigger you to get you off, as kids say, off your game. And therefore, you got to start all over again. You got to ask God to die daily, cleanse me daily, help me move past that daily. Because even if you've asked the person to forgive you and you moved on, they moved on with their life, but you're still stuck right there. And every time that trigger comes, you've got to acknowledge God and say, God, help me with this. Because it has nothing to do with the person now. It's something else that's a reminder. There's something that represents that. Something that, that I have to purge out of my life. It's more than just saying the words, I'm sorry. Because some people say the words and they don't mean it. Far from what they mean. But this forgiveness and being able to forgive and move past it daily, it's a journey. It's not overnight. It's not, in some cases, those horrific things that happened take a lifetime to get over. But if you do not seek the help, and sometimes you need a therapist, I'm cool with saying Jesus and a therapist. And I know plenty of mental health friends who are faith-based and non-faith-based alike who can help you with that process, because we hear it when you talk. We hear it when you speak. It comes out of your mouth. It rolls out. Even if we're not even dealing with that subject, we didn't even bring it up, and it just rolls out of your mouth. And it just rolls through the way you act and the way you treat people. And even if it's not the person who hurt you, they got a dress that reminds you of that dress, that suit and that tie he had. And oh my gosh, the guy who hurt me, he liked Dr. Pepper. And this dude liked Dr. Pepper, so I didn't have another date with him. Just because he didn't like Dr. Pepper? Was there anything else besides Dr. Pepper? That you get where I'm going at. And you hold up your whole life because you didn't seek to get the help that you needed to be able to forgive and move on with the abundant life that God intended for you to have. And no, I will say it for the umpteenth time. It is not easy. Nobody is telling you to blink and move on, but it's poisoning your life. It is poisoning your relationships. Sometimes it's poisoning your career. Sometimes it's poisoning your business. Sometimes it's poisoning not your family, everything about you, because you can't move. You can't get past it. You can't move forward. And so that hold, stranglehold that the person has on you is still there. It's holding on to you. And that's where strongholds get. And that's where, all those barriers to blessings and barriers to a whole life come in, because you allow the other person to do and say and be a hold over your life. And what can be even more difficult is realizing that some people allow what the person did to them to have a hold on them. And here we go. You ready? And they're dead. They're not here to defend themselves, tell their side or anything. And you're still holding on to what they did. And you might have said forgiveness, but you still hold on to it like a blanket, like a cloak, like a hat, like a old familiar pair of shoes, worn up and tore up, but you still put them on. You still take them around. You still throw them that old blanket in your suitcase when you travel. It's with you everywhere you go. Forgive. When I asked him what to talk about, he said forgive. I'm like, ugh, that's not a fun topic. He said, but it's holding up so many things. It's a barrier for so many things. Even in the climate, the political climate, especially in the US we're in right now, it will cause you to want to feel some kind of way. You got to fight, forget. You said the heart of the king is in your hand. As the rivers run, you turn it whithersoever you will. You got that. That's out of my pay grade. That's above what I know. I don't even have a clue, because it don't matter. He used donkeys. He used birds. He used whatever God want to use. He used angels. He used to get what I'm supposed to have and to be where I'm supposed to be. He would use whatever. So I can't get tied up in forgiveness and miss out on the formula, the strategy, the plan that he has for me. Fooling with somebody who don't even know me. Oh, come on, girl. What are we? So my thing is, Lord, what am I supposed to learn from this? Okay. They came. You allowed it to happen. You allowed all of it. What am I supposed to learn? Am I supposed to get, he told me once, you're going to have to get thicker skin. You can get offended at every single thing that comes along. People are just people. People going to be jealous. People going to hate. People going to, are you going to get tied up with that every time somebody does that? Well, the enemy will keep you tied up all the time, whether they mean to do it or whether that's just their personality. You can't get tied up in it all the time. You cannot. I got to focus on that. Sometimes I have to close myself off. I can't talk on the phone to everybody. I can't go to every event. I can't go be at every meetup, at every networking event, at every church service or every concert. I just can't go. I know what my limits are. I love everybody. I ain't got time for the hate. I don't have time to be mad. I don't have time for it. I really do not. But what I don't have time for more than anything is to miss what God has for me. I have more years behind me than in front. Sure, I could live to, my grandmother lived 104. I could. But in what shape? At what price? And what ability will that look? What will it look like? So forgive. Just forgive. Forgive and ask God to help you deal with forgiveness. Ask God to help you. How are we going to deal with this, God? Which way you want me to go? What direction you want to head in? As uncomfortable as this topic is, when I'm done, when I push in recording, it will be a release. It will be liberating because I obeyed. I did what he said. I delivered the message. Don't shoot the messenger, but I delivered the message. Because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to hold up. I don't want any barriers. I don't want any blockages. I got great plans, great things I've been working on, good things I have in front of me. And I don't want nothing to hold that up. Nothing. I don't want nothing to hold it up for you. Even if it's much greater than I will ever. My nieces and my godson, they're doing incredible things. They're in spaces I never dreamed of being in. I'm not qualified to be in. I don't want to be in. But I don't want anything to hinder them to go higher, further, faster. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what I regret or what I don't have any regrets, but what I think I should have been and where I no. Let that go and move on. So, Lord, what do you have for me? What do you want me to be doing with my 62-year-old self? I can't go back to 22, 32, 42, 52. What do you want me to be doing with my 62-year-old self, like right now? Where should I be? What should I be doing? Who should I be spending my time? Where should I spend my money? And where should I spend my time almost more than my money? Because I know what my money will do. But Lord, where I spend my time, I can't get that back. I can make more money. You can give me another $1 million idea. You can give me another book. You can give me another plan. You can give me another workshop. You can give me an event, a conference, something. But time, oh, can't get that back. Energy, effort, oh no. Idea, no. So Lord, be with me, lead me, and guide me. Help me to be and do what you have me to be. Now I know I talked a little long today, but when it's all said and done, I did what you said. So I can and you can live your best life. That's coming up at 10 a.m. Standard Time right there on envision-radio.com where Praise Meets Talk. Have you downloaded that? I don't know what you're waiting on. Go to Google Play, download the Envision Radio Magazine app today so that you can have it on your phone and all your mobile devices so that you can listen to some wonderful music and incredible educational, inspirational, and motivational programming. And then coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Spike Davis and Friends Show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more. And then Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, envision-radio.com, the Book Business Boss Show, helping you get your message to the masses and be a book business boss. Book Business Boss podcast, 1, 2, 3, and half of 4 is already loaded up for you. So you can get the replays, get what you need. So for Julia Royston books, you can get them some other places besides just Louisville, Birmingham, Alabama, and Spirit-Filled Christian Bookstore. Also, Next Chapter Bookstore, Gift Shop, beautiful bookstore in Greensboro, North Carolina. Brew and Sip, get your coffee and Danishes, muffins, sandwiches, all that good stuff at Brew and Sip Coffee Bar, 2860 Packer Land Way in Louisville. Janami Books and more, 18th Street. And then touch base with the Book Nerd fam. Ms. D. Smith has books and they're on the move. Purchase the whole series Ask, Seek, and Knock at RoystonRoyalBookstore.com. Headed on the road this upcoming weekend. We'll be in Mobile, Alabama, July 14th through the 17th, and then the 18th through the 20th. Oh, yeah, we're on the move. Indiana Black Expo. And so Mecca is in Mobile Convention Center, right downtown, right there on the water. Beautiful scenery. Indiana Black Expo is downtown the Indianapolis Convention Center. We're in booth 713. A lot of action going on in Indianapolis during that weekend because the WNBA events are going on. I can't remember. It just weekend, their big weekend is happening at the same time. There's all kind of wellness expos, there's concerts, music, books, artwork, everything. If your student needs to go to school in education, there's all kinds of events that are going on at the Indianapolis Convention Center. The WNBA All-Star Weekend. I don't know. My mind just went a blank right then. But that is the ending of summer celebration, Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration, July 18th through the 20th, the Indianapolis Convention Center in booth 713. 713, I have authors that are with me, and we'll be going live Tuesday, July 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tune in. We'll have more. Are you ready to write your book? Write that book now. Workshops coming up July 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 2-hour workshop, live and via Zoom, recorded from the comfort of your own home. Go to roystonclasses.com. You'll see my summer fall workshop series coming up for the next 4 months, July, August, September, and October. And then I'm quite sure I'll be closing out the year with another workshop as well. But tune in. be sure and touch base. Now, I'm putting out there, and when you're ready, come on through. And don't say, oh, I didn't know how. I didn't know. No, I put it out there. And by the way, if you have a book and it's been written and you need help with publishing, or you have a book and you're like, I think I want to turn this into business. I don't know how to do that. I do have a coaching program. So let's have a conversation first. Let me hear your heart. Let me hear your vision. Let me hear how much time and effort you have to put on toward it, whether it's going to be slow as we go or you want it ready to be on the fast track. Let's go. Go to my calendar, talkwithroyston.com. Let's have a conversation. All my other websites and online stores are at juliaakroyston.com. That's juliaakroyston.com. You all be blessed in all that you say and do. Have a phenomenal rest of the week. Enjoy your summertime with family and friends. And I know that Jesus loves you. He has a great plan for your life. But sometimes you got to go back, look in your closets, get that. Some of those things, purge them out. Unforgiveness, things that are holding you back and holding you up. We don't want none of that. You all be blessed. I love you. Dr. Julia Royston. Until next time, be blessed. Bye-bye.